Hi again, Year 3. It is now Thursday and the last day of our data handling and statistics work. So just to kickstart, we're going to do a little bit of a problem solving activity. In your OneDrive folder, you will see there is a starter called Think It, which is taken from Education City. So I'm just going to share it with you now, if I can find it. Here it is here. Found it for you. Sorry, I didn't realise I was still recording then. So here it is here, and you can see that Sten has got a little problem for us because he's found this graph here, but the title is missing. So we are going to give you 5 or 10 minutes just to have a little think about what this graph could be showing. And we want you to think of 5 different things it could be showing. So it's got the days of the week at the bottom, and then it's got the scale at the top showing an amount of something. So what could this graph be telling Sten about, or what could Sten have been gathering information on? So I'm going to give you a little clue because I thought it could be the amount of times he had a snack on each day. So on Monday, he had 7 snacks. On Tuesday, he had 10. Wednesday, he had, he's at 5 snacks. Thursday, he had 4. And Friday, it looks like he might have had 4 as well. It's quite hard to go across, or 5. So that was my idea. There are millions of different ideas. It could be hundreds of ideas. So we want you to think of 5. Go away and think of them, jot them down, and we would love to hear your creative ideas of what this graph could represent. Pause me and then come back to us when you've done 5 different ways of what this graph could be showing. Can't wait to hear, excuse me, can't wait to hear all of your different ideas of what that graph might be about. I also thought it could be a number, the number of minutes of exercise Sten did in a day, or somebody that Sten knows. And also maybe it could be with the current situation that we're in, it could be the amount of friends that he saw on Zoom in a day. That could be one that he was doing a graph on, the friends that he saw on his Zoom call every single day, a little graph to show all the different types of data that we can collect in a bar chart. So I look forward to finding out what you thought that graph was showing. So please email us and let us know what you thought. Yesterday we looked at interpreting bar graphs, and I think most of you did really well with that and looking at the scales carefully. You are very lucky today because you have got 2 teachers for the price of 1, and Mrs. Davies has done a recording as well that I'm going to watch with you. About what you're going to do today, and you're going to create your own bar chart, and you're going to need some information for that. Now, if you don't have things at home, a bit like the pictogram that you can gather information on, we have got a completed PowerPoint which has got a tally chart, because you're going to need a tally chart, Mrs. Davis will explain, saved in the folder for you. You can use that to then draw your bar chart. So there's one tally chart ready to go if you can't make one yourselves. And then there are some templates which I'll go over with you afterwards as well to use. So I'm going to let Mrs. Davis take over with her little video and listen in the background of what we would like you to do today. So here she is.
You again, and today is the day. So yesterday you would have had a look at some bar charts, and you would have had a go at answering some questions to do with the information that was in those bar charts. So today what we're going to ask you to do is a bit like what we've got you to do on Tuesdays. We're going to ask you to draw your own bar chart to show some information. Now, if you would rather, we have sent home some information that you can use to put into a bar chart, but you might prefer to use your own set of information and collect it on your own. Now, if you choose to do that, you need to have something in mind that you are going to collect your information on. So it could be something to do with the amount of traffic that's going past your house, and that's something similar to what we've sent home for you to do in the folders if you choose to do that. It could be that you could go out in your garden and you can collect information on the different types of flowers that there are in your garden, or maybe the different types of birds that are flying into your garden at the moment. Whatever it is though, you need to collect that information together. So I chose to collect some information on the type of traffic that was going past my house. And the best way that I found to do that was to collect it using a tally chart. Now, if you remember from your work in year 2 and from work you might have done already this week, tally charts are a really good way of collecting information together because we can record it quite quickly as things are moving and things are happening. So I collected some information on the type of traffic that's going past my house and I put it into a tally chart here. So I've listed down this column here the different types of traffic that there is. So we've got cars, we've got cyclists, we've got walkers and runners. There's lots of runners at the moment trying to do their exercise. And then my next column, we have got the tally. So that was what I was recording down as I was watching from my window to see who was going past. Now you can see from here that I have got 2 cars that came past my house while I was sat watching. So not too many cars at the moment because people are tending not to use their cars very much. And then cyclists, you can see here that I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because remember, when we get a group of 5, we put a cross through to show it's a nice group. 6, 7, 8. So I had 8 cyclists that came past my house. Now walkers, there were an awful lot of walkers when I was watching, and you can see here that I've got quite a lot of tallies. Now because I've got quite a lot of tallies and I've grouped it in 5, it's a bit quicker for me to count than not having lots of separate lines. So I can count them here as 5, 10, 15, and then I've got 3 more here, so 16, 17, 18. So I have 18 walkers coming past my house. And again, runners, there were quite a few runners that were coming past. So again, if I look at my tallies here, I've got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 runners. So that's the information I've collected in my tally chart. And in the same way, you would need to collect your information and record that down in your book. So you've got something to look at and to use when you do your bar chart. Now, once you've got that information, then you can start thinking about your bar chart and how you are going to be setting it out. Now, you've looked at some bar charts yesterday, so you should remember the sorts of things that they need to have. But again, just to show you, I have done a bar chart here of that information I collected about the traffic. So if I show you the bar chart that I have drawn here, I've got my title, which says a bar chart to show the amount of traffic passing by my house. And then I have got my vertical line and my horizontal line going across here. Now, on my horizontal line, I have split my line up to show my 4 different types of traffic that I had coming past. So I've got my cars, the cyclists, the walkers, and the runners. And just to be really clear on what that is, as well as having those 4 written down, I've also given myself a label down here which says type of traffic. Now going up the side here, this shows me the number of the different types of traffic that there was going past. So I put a nice clear label up there so I know exactly what these numbers stand for. Now, with my numbers, I've chosen, because my highest number was 18, I chose, so that I could fit it on to my whiteboard here, I chose to use a scale of 2 going up the side here. So you can see I've marked on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and I've actually gone up to 20. So I've gone a little bit past my highest number that I needed to. I haven't gone too much past, just a little bit past, which is fine. Now, it could be that your scale that you choose to do is different from the scale that I've used because it depends on what numbers you are working with. So a bit like what we were talking about with our pictograms on Tuesday. If you've got a lower number, you could just go up in 1s going up here. But again, if you've got some bigger numbers, you might need to maybe count in 4s as you go up there, or 5s. So think about the numbers that you've got and think about how they're going to work best on your graph. Remember, you will have squares in your books to help you to set this out nice and clearly and to mark your numbers on. So you might want to use 2 squares to mark on each number as you go up. So think carefully about how you're going to set that out. So using the scale that I have used then, I have recorded on each of these different bars the numbers that we saw going past our house. So we can see here for the car that my bar is going up to the number 2 at the side of my graph here. So that shows me there was 2 cars. The cyclist, if I follow the height of my bar up and go across, it's showing me that I had 8 cyclists going past the house. The walkers, if I go up here and follow it across, it shows me that I had my 18 walkers going past there. Now with my runners, I actually had 13 runners going past my house. Now there isn't a number 13 on my scale here because I'm going up in 2s. So what I've had to do when I've come to draw my bar for my runners is I've had to make sure that it's lined up between the 12 and the 14. So that's where we would find the number 13 between 12 and 14. So it's in line with that there. And once I've drawn my 4 bars on, of course, because I like a lot of colour, I have coloured in my bars just to make them stand out and to make them really clear. So you, when you come to look at your information and setting it out on your bar graph, will need to think about all of those different things to include. So we need to make sure we've got a title, we need to make sure we've got our labels, and we need to think about the scale that we are using. We hope that you have lots of fun collecting your information if you're going to do that, and we hope you're going to have lots of fun drawing your bar chart as well. If you are able to, take a little picture and send it to us because we'd love to see what you've done and what you've been up to, but we shall be in touch with you again very soon.
Okay, so that gives you all of the information that you need there from Mrs. Davies. It's nice to have her doing some of our maths work with us as well. So Mrs. Davies there mentioned that there is already some information, which I said on the PowerPoint, that you can transfer over to a tally chart of your own. Now you can either draw your tally chart or you can use the template that I'm going to show you now. Just share this with you. So this is it here. So it's from the PowerPoint, there are different coloured cars and it's got red, blue, green and yellow, and you do your tally and how many on there. So you can print that off and you can do it that way. That's if you're not using your own amount of data. If you are doing your own data, you've got a tally chart template there you can use. So let's say you're counting different flowers in the garden. For example, you might have daisies, although it's a bit early to have flowers yet. Roses, whatever other plants you may have in the garden, or it could be different types of birds you see, robins, magpies, crows, pigeons in your garden, or it could be traffic, like Mrs. Davies said. It could be cars, bikes, buses, walkers down there. Do your tally and your totals, you've got it there. Now, if you've got a square paper in your maths book at home, you can draw your bar chart straight into there. If for whatever reason you don't, we've also left in there some square paper and a bar chart template for you to draw your bar charts in there as well. Now remember, you've got to think about the scale that goes at the side, and that will depend on your total number. So if your total number is really high, you might want to have your scale going up in 5s. If your total number is less than 20, or up to 20, I would say you could do it in 2s. If it's up to 20, you could do it up in 1s. Okay, so just be careful with that with your scale. So you've all got something to be doing. So even if you can't collate your own information, you can use our PowerPoint with the different colour cars to do a tally chart and then draw a bar chart. If you're doing your own information, you've got a tally chart template to do the information first, collect your data, and then you can draw your bar chart on there. Now, for some of you, you may find it difficult to collate your own information, and that's absolutely fine. That's fine as well. We have also given you an option to go on to, again, I'm going to have to find it for you, on Purple Mash. And on Purple Mash, we have got this one here, to do graph, which will be ready for you for this lesson. So if you go in here, we're doing this type of bar chart on here. And you can, once you've done your tally chart, you can write in here. So it might be traffic, let's say bike, walkers, cars, buses, whatever information you've collected, you put your number in there and it will start to build your bar chart for you. It doesn't have a title, so you have to add a title, and you can save that version as well to send to us. Plenty for you to do today. You can even do a bar chart on Purple Mash as well as drawing one. Would be fantastic because it's showing two different ways of showing your data, your information. So today your Walt is to draw, to create your own bar chart, either using your own information that you gather or using the PowerPoint about different colour cars that we've saved for you. You can use either of those. When you have completed your bar chart and either sent a picture or you've done it on Purple Mash, whatever way you're doing it, we would then like you to log back into Education City to complete your assessment for this week. And your assessment is questions based on all things to do with data handling. So it's to do with pictograms, block graphs and bar graphs, answering questions on them so that we know you understand how to interpret them. So I'll show you where that is as well. Let me go back into Purple Mash and find. So remember, in your city, you've got a folder called Handling Data in here. You have to have completed yesterday's Speedy Pete and got 80% or more. And then you go into the statistics, which is the assessment here. And there is a 15-minute assessment there. It should take you no more than 15 minutes. Answer the questions, and then we can see your scores. There's only 8 questions. You've got 15 minutes to do it. So we can see then all of your scores and how you're getting on in this unit of work. So good luck, children. Lots for you to be getting on with. And then tomorrow you've got your times table practice with Mrs. Gray, and it's the end of another week. Well done, everybody. Look forward to seeing your work and your results.